I was like, why can't I hear myself? Alrighty, hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby if you don't already know me, and I love to talk all things personal finance, organization, and lifestyle. And welcome back to another monthly reset. That just felt a little bit weird, but we're gonna move on from it. I have a little bit of a tickle in my throat. I have noticed basically ever since coming off the plane that I have like a bit of a tickle, but it seems to be acting up today. So I sound a little different. That is why. But I'm so excited for a monthly reset. I have missed these sit down videos. I filmed my Italy budget breakdown video a couple of days ago, and it just felt so good to be seated down for another sit down video. So thank you guys so much for watching the Italy vlogs. If you watch them, I had so much fun making the Italy vlogs, and I definitely want to include lifestyle stuff on my channel. I've never wanted to be just like a personal finance niche channel. I've always wanted to make this more of a well-rounded lifestyle channel and include anything that I want to do and anything that piques my interest at that time in my life. Right now it might be travel and books and things like that, and who knows what I get into later in my life, but I never really wanted this channel to be like a personal finance only niche. So I really, really thank you guys for watching those vlogs and for asking for the vlogs and things like that. It definitely, helps my channel overall just to not put me into a little corner where I can't really get out of. So thank you guys, and yay! It's November! I cannot believe it's November. What in the F happened to 2024? I haven't even filmed my Q3 goal update video. I've been doing quarterly goal updates, and with Italy I should have filmed one for the end of September. Never got around to it. So I might throw a video like that into November here. If not, I might just update you guys at the end of Q4, but who knows, we shall see. But yeah, this year has been flying by. I feel like we all feel that way. It's so weird how time works. I feel like every year I get older, I feel like time moves faster. And I asked my dad recently, I was like, does it get faster and faster? Like, does it just keep speeding up? And he said, yes. He's like, your life will go faster and faster the further you are through it. So we need to romanticize the now and be present. And I don't know why I'm giving life advice right now. Okay. Let's go into this video and this content. I am going to be doing a big lump sum video for the month of November. We're going to talk all things budgets, cover the October budget. We're going to set a budget for November. We're also going to do a little bit of goals, cover how my monthly goals went for October, set some new goals, and we will also touch on things like books and favorites and the usual stuff I like to cover in my resets. Let's cover some just general items. If you are new to my channel, my name is Gabby. I just turned 30 and I love to do personal finance content, as I mentioned, but also other lifestyle things. So if you're into that type of content, you should definitely subscribe. I just had my 30th birthday. I just went on a 2-week trip to Italy. The month of October was incredibly expensive. Some things came up. If you watch my Italy video budget breakdown, you will already know. But basically, we had a canceled flight at the end of our trip, a canceled flight between Naples to London. It was just like a British Airways quick little flight. That one was canceled, and it basically threw off the rest of our travel itinerary. We had round trip tickets booked from Vancouver to London, so we missed our Vancouver flight, or London to Vancouver flight, and we had to book very last minute flights at full cost, last minute costs, which is not cheap. So I spent about $2,200 getting home, unexpected cost. We are currently in the background working with British Airways and our credit cards to try to see how many dollars we can recoup from that situation, just because it was a canceled flight and it was not our fault. We did have that situation, especially because David booked a basic ticket. So he was told by Air Canada that they would not be able to refund him any money, and they would not be able to book him on another flight. He had to just lose the money from the original flight and pay the amount for the next flight. David is my partner, also, if you're new here. So that is going to be a big item that is on my budget for the month of October, but hopefully we're going to get some money back from that. So I kind of estimated how much we'll get back from that, and that will be money that's coming in the month of November. What else for October? It was my birthday month, as I mentioned. There were some costs relating to that. It was my brother's birthday month, so I bought some gifts. I also did a little bit of shopping for Christmas gifts while we were in Italy. We got some gifts that are going to come in the mail. We bought a big box of stuff that's coming in the mail. So I already did a little bit of Christmas shopping. Overall, I'm very happy with how the trip went, excluding that big cost at the end. I mentioned this in that big budget breakdown that I basically budgeted exactly how much our trip was, and I estimated basically exactly how much I was going to be spending. I was a little hopeful in my October budget breakdown. I was hopeful that I maybe would spend less and then I'd have some extra money in my savings to like put towards some other trips, but that's okay. Shit happens, and yeah, we'll dive into it a little bit further and you guys can see what I mean when we cover it. Okay, so here's the month of October. Let's cover the numbers at the top of the sheet here, but obviously I will break these down a bit further just because it's not exactly as it seems. So income, $12,801, but if I scroll down here, you will see that I had to take $4,500 out of my sinking funds. So my income is actually quite a bit less than that. Expenses and bills, about $10,169. Disgusting. Yeah, but we're good. Savings and investments, $3,400. So even though I had a very expensive month, because I have automatic investments and automatic savings set up, my stuff still goes through. These savings and investments still happen. I still hit my savings goal. I still hit my investment goals. I just had to pull money out of my savings to cover the cost of my credit card bills. You know what? I'm very proud that I'm still always contributing to my overall financial goals, even in the months where I'm doing things like traveling. And then credit cards, $8,300 was transferred onto credit cards, and I will cover that a bit further later. Balances in my cash accounts, I should have about $2,700 at the end of this month. You know what? Actually, that's not correct because I have to pay my rent. Rent does not go onto my Amex. That's why this is off. After I pay rent and all of my bills come out of my account for the month, I should have about $1,600 left over. This I will be immediately transferring onto my credit cards. And I also have balances on my credit cards of $36 on my Avion, which is a card I canceled, but somehow an expense went through. But I think it just transferred it to like my free card I currently have with RBC. So $36 there. My Neo MasterCard is sitting at about $2,600 on that right now. Me and David still have to split this total. So what we did for travel is we used our couple's Amex and my Neo MasterCard, and we're just dividing the balance on those two cards in half and then paying it off. We paid off the couple's Amex already. We just need to pay off the Neo MasterCard. So this is yet to be paid, but once the bill is due, I will start transferring that over. And my TD Visa, I just paid the statement balance. This is like whatever was left over from the statement balance, and that is sitting at about $1,000 right now. Okay, let's cover the income. So I have a 9-to-5 salaried role. My paycheck is usually about $2,500 at the end of the year because I've maxed out my pension and like the other stuff that they deduct off of it. I start to get a little bit more on each paycheck, and also November is a 3-paycheck month. So I'm currently getting about $2,700, $2,750, and that is my 2 paychecks for the month of October. Then from sinking funds, as I mentioned, I had to pull $4,500 out of my sinking funds to pay for all of my trip costs. I will cover that a little bit more when we get to like the expenses. Bonus money, I had about $500 come in. This is a portion is from my mobile plan. I pay for my family's family plan, and then they just transfer me how much they owe for their phones. And then I also got some birthday money, so that is included in here as well. Etsy money, I was paid $989 from Etsy. I'm always so grateful for you guys buying my budget tracker, and it's so cool that you guys buy this product for me and you're using it. And this is the budget tracker I'm showing on the screen right now. If you're interested in this budget tracker, I will leave it in the link down below. I will say though, the 2025 one is coming out hopefully January 1st, or a little bit before then. If you are looking for a new tracker for next year, there are some improvements I am making to this tracker, and I'm changing the general look of it as well. So if you want to hold off until then, I would recommend it because the new and better version will be coming out then. Etsy income, almost 1,000, which is incredible. YouTube AdSense, I had a big YouTube AdSense month. A couple of my financial videos I filmed like maybe August or September blew up. I had a very big month on YouTube for September and October. So this is my September pay from YouTube, and I'm getting even more in October, and the month's not even over yet, which is so crazy. So yeah, $1,100 from YouTube AdSense. So if you're a new subscriber from watching those couple videos, I think it was my 19 things I no longer buy video, and then also my paycheck routine video. If you're new from watching those videos, leave me a comment down below. I love to say hello and introduce myself. Welcome to the family. Gumroad, which is where I sell my Notion template that I use, which I will be using at the end of this video. I got $168 from that. So that is a total of $12,800 from income. Deduct about $4,500 is like the actual true income value for the month. Next up, we have expenses. So I typically have just like a regular budget column here, as you would see in your own version if you purchase this, but I added an extra column before my trip just to split up the expenses a little bit, just so I could budget accordingly for travel and then just for whatever was to do with the rest of the month. So I actually have it where if it's red, it means I went over, like the 2 columns added together. So I Actual expenses for groceries, I was a little bit over. I said I wanted to do about $300 and we are currently at $445. That's okay. I think $300 was a little bit low if I'm being honest. Also I should mention at the beginning of the month, we had a friend's wedding in Victoria. So it was like a destination wedding. We all had to get on a ferry. I had to put my car on a ferry. We had obviously groceries and eating out and expenses and things like that. So this month was expensive as a whole because of that trip. And then I have obviously my own travels. Transportation costs, obviously I'm way over budget here. I had to get gas twice in the month of October. I got gas at the beginning. I think this is also because of my trip to Victoria that more gas was used than usual. I usually only gas up once a month. So 2 gas fill ups. And then obviously I think I had like $400 came from my travel budget of just transportation getting around, Ubers, trains, things that we had to pay for while we were over in Italy. Eating out, I budgeted about $1,300 for my trip alone and then about $150 for the rest of the month. I think I must have gone over the $150 for the rest of the month. I definitely ate out more than I expected it. Even just this weekend, we ate out quite a bit. But I was under budget for my travels. So I budgeted about $1,300 and I think we were only at like $1,000 and something. So yeah, this was a good outcome. I was under budget for eating out. $1,300 seems crazy for eating out, but if you've been on a like 2-week trip, you know that if you're eating out at restaurants every single day, it gets really expensive, especially because the Canadian dollar is so weak compared to the euro and the British pound, which is like where we were also in London for a little bit. So the conversion rate just really gets us. Even if it's relatively reasonable in the country itself, the conversion just kind of makes it not reasonable anymore. Coffee, I budgeted about $125. I spent about $160. I think $100 was on my trip, and then I must have just spent a little bit more on coffee outside of it. But I've been a little bit more lax on getting coffees out. I've been listening to a lot of Ramit Sethi, and he really likes to talk about how people over question the $3 questions, he calls them. And $3 questions are like the little joys in life, the very like relatively inexpensive things that you do on a day-to-day basis that make you happy, like buying a morning coffee. Over agonizing on that tiny expense just doesn't do you any good, and it's really not that big of a deal at the end of the day. And it made me just kind of realize that I really love getting coffees out, and I don't need to like limit myself on that just simply because I budget. I'm sure I can find room in my budget just to enjoy my coffee, and I love getting coffee out. It is like one of my favorite things to do. Me and my boyfriend love going to see new coffee shops, so I'm just trying to be a little bit more lenient with the coffee and not being so hard ass on myself, like $25. Moving on, drinking and cannabis, I'm under budget actually. I budgeted about $400 for my trip and $150 outside of that. I think similarly we spent less on the trip than we thought on alcohol. I think what happened is we actually got a lot of like wine at dinners, and I didn't like take the wine portion out of the dinner budget, like that was included in the food. And because I was under budget on my food budget, I was like, I don't really care to take that out. So we did probably spend about $400 on drinking on the trip. It's under budget technically for the trip itself. And then I think I spent over the $150 outside of that because we had the wedding and it was not an open bar. We bought like a big round for all of our friends, and yeah, it got very expensive. So I think we were over budget on this portion and under budget on this portion, but all in all, under budget in this category, which is great to see. Clothes, I spent about $520 on clothes, and I think I only budgeted about $400, and I actually bought 0 clothes on my trip, so this is like literally just the 2 weeks outside of the trip. I bought a pair of Lululemon pants for my travels. I really wanted a pair of pants that was super, super comfortable that I could wear on the plane, but that also looked pretty sharp because I just didn't really want it to wear sweatpants to Italy and then just drag them around outside of the travel days. I wanted a pair of pants that I could wear in basic outfits as well, and I absolutely love the pair of pants I got. This also includes a birthday gift. I got birthday money from my friends and family, so I bought a pair of jeans from Aritzia. I'm wearing them right now. That is included in this budget, so technically I was gifted money to buy those, so it's included here, but it's not like straight out of my pocket type of thing. And then what else did I get? Oh, I also got a skirt and a top as well. This was in September that I bought this, but I put it in my October budget. I usually budget from like the 26th or the 27th to the next month, 26th, 27th, so this was purchased quite a while ago, but yes, I did buy a skirt and a top from Aritzia as well. If you know me, you know I spend a lot of my money at Aritzia. It's my favorite place. Oh, I bought this sweater as well, this Uniqlo sweater. I needed like a cardigan that could also double as like a jacket for like cooler days in Italy, so that was $78 with tax and everything included. Yeah, and then the jeans. So that was the $500 spent on clothes right there. Beauty, I budgeted about $100 spent outside of my travels and about $30 spent on my travels. I spent 0 on my trip, and I spent $86 outside outside of the trip. Fun, I budgeted about $300 total, $50 budgeted for the rest of the month, $250 for travel. I think we spent exactly a little bit less than $250 on my travels, and then probably a little bit more outside of that, but I'm overall under budget on that, which is great. My cats, we were over budget. My cat Orlando had to go to the vet emergency style. He had a little medical mishap, and so we took him to the vet and he had to get a full checkup, and he got his deworming and everything like that for like an annual checkup, so he's good to go. But yes, the vet was expensive, so that happened at the beginning of the month. Health wise, I bought I had a massage appointment, which was about $130 of this. That will be deducted off once I get money from my boyfriend's insurance, so I don't actually have to pay out of pocket for that. It's just like I put it on my credit card, and because I track my credit card balances up here, I always track even if something that's going to be reimbursed to me, so this will be fully reimbursed. And then I bought, I think, some supplements. Yeah, I can't fully remember, but yeah, I think some supplements. Gifts, I only budgeted about $250. This was for my brother and my boyfriend's dad. We ended up buying a bunch of Christmas gifts, as I mentioned, in Italy. So that's less money I have to spend in the month of November. I usually buy all of my Christmas gifts during Black Friday. It's like money I was going to spend anyway. Like I give like a limit to each person that I'm buying gifts for. I basically just moved like some of my Christmas gifts into October, so I'm not upset about this at all. And then obviously I bought my brother a gift, and same with my boyfriend's dad a gift as well. So over budget, but money I would have spent regardless. And then home, I believe this is a candle, a new travel bag for my travels. So that is the $45. I am under budget there. I budgeted about $50. Discretionary, I don't actually know what this is. I think this is like some random expense, and I didn't really know where to put it otherwise. This is like my random category where if there's no other good place for it. Oh yes. My friend for the wedding, I was taking out cash from my ATM for the wedding gift, and she was like, "Can you just take out extra cash for me, and then I'll pay you back?" I obviously have to still track that, even though it's not money I'm actually spending. This $100 is just like money I'm getting back anyway. Travel. This is the fun category. This is where the $2,200 flights are. We also spent a bunch of money on some hotels. We only paid 50% down when we booked them, so the other 50% had to be charged. Some of our hotels weren't even charged until we got there, so that was the other portion. I believe some of our flights might have been a similar situation to that. Yeah, basically this was just like expenses from traveling that didn't really fit in another category. So total for that category is $35, $32. If you deduct the $2,200, it's like only $1,300, which is fine. I think I budgeted about $1,000. I think I budgeted less than this initially, but then I changed it later once I realized that we had all the Airbnbs and those expenses going through. And then business expenses, I paid for Upbeat for music. It's like a music subscription service for YouTube videos. So that went through. So the total for the month, expenses wise, was $8,700. I did a little bit of deductions here. So I took off the flight, and that puts me at $6,500 spent this month, which is still a high number, but it is in the realm of what I was expecting to spend on my trips. So that made me feel a little bit better. And yeah, you can see here that I was expecting to spend about $5,300 total for the month. And yeah, I was actually at about $6,500. I was over budget by a little bit, but I kind of expected that to happen. Bills are exactly as expected. My rent's always the same, $1,100. My phone bill, $260. As I mentioned, this is a family plan, so I only pay for a third of this. Internet, I am now paying for internet. It wasn't this whole year because me and David had a weird scenario where I would pay for more of the groceries and the pet food, and he would pay for our bills on his credit card. But now we have a couple's credit card, so we're using that instead. So now there's like new costs that I didn't have previously. So half of our internet bill is $60, which is quite high, and I think we're gonna look into if we can get a similarly good internet rate. Obviously, I need good internet for YouTube, but I think we could get a better deal somewhere else. So we'll look into that. Ren is a subscription service I use to combat my carbon footprint. You like invest money into carbon initiatives that help offset your carbon footprint. So that is that. I pay $11 for my checking account. I believe you need to have a minimum of $3,000 in your TD account to not be charged this. But because my high yield savings account rate was so high, I was choosing not to do this. But now that they're starting to tail off, like now that interest rates are starting to drop down, I might actually transfer $3,000 into my TD account to be like my buffer amount. We'll see. I have to like do the math of like what's more beneficial. But I think now, because I think the rates are only like 3.5% instead of like 4.5, it might be better to just have that buffer in that account. We'll see. And then my couple's Amex is the Cobalt Amex. So you're charged a monthly fee for that card. And we split it down the middle. So my portion is $6.50. Next up, we have savings. Because I drained my emergency fund, what I did is I took 30% of my business income and I put that into my business account. So I might have to recalculate this now that the month is officially closed out, but I was expecting about $630 should go into my business account. And then the remainder of my YouTube paycheck is going to go into my savings. So because I had to deduct so much out of my emergency fund for those flights, I am going to be racking that back up now. But before then, I still had 2 paychecks where a certain amount of my pay is taken and put into savings every single paycheck. So I put $250 into my holiday account. This is my Christmas account. I put $30 into my Orlando save account, which is just like my pet sinking fund. I put $30 into my car sinking fund account, and then I put $150 into my beauty save account because I believe I drained some of it for getting lip filler before I went on my trip. That is that. Right, $1,400 saved, which is not too shabby. You know, I took out $4,500, but I'm still dumping money into my savings. So you can actually look at the amount that I took out is like a lot less than that. So that makes me feel a little bit better. And I think this is the first time on my channel that I have had to take money from my emergency fund, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it is. Reminder, have an emergency fund, especially if you're traveling. You can have like a $3,000 buffer in your travel account and it still might not be enough for things that come up. Have an emergency fund. Do it. Investments. So my goal for October was to invest $2,000. It was a little bit tricky with all this money being spent, but I took some money out of my savings from my paychecks. I dump $650 every paycheck into my retirement. I dump $125 into my TFSA, and I dump $150 into my FHSA. I'm Canadian, so these are all Canadian tax-free or like tax benefited accounts, and I am working on maxing out my TFSA for the year. I have like my automatic deposit set up so that at the end of the year I will be perfectly maxed out, and same with the FHSA, I will be perfectly maxed out as well. And then to get my $2,000 for my goal for the month, I had to take $150 out of my savings and put that in retirement. But because my interest rate on my high yield savings accounts are going down, I actually am not that mad about that. I used to have a lot cash. I think I was like sitting at like $26,000 or $27,000 in my cash accounts, and now that that's going down, because I did take a bunch of it out for my emergency fund, I'm sitting quite a bit lower now. But I'm like, you know what, it's probably good not to have so much cash and to invest a little bit extra. $2,000 invested, which I am very proud of. That was like a big goal for me, was to start regularly investing about $2,000 a month, and I'm very proud of this number. Okay, next up we have credit cards. So I basically pay off my statement balances on my cards, and then what I did is, because we had the travel cards, I've been just dumping money onto those cards. I don't want to like wait for November when, you know, Black Friday shopping comes. I don't want to like look at my cards and be like completely disgusted. So preemptively, I'm dumping a bunch of money onto these cards. I could have waited till November to pay off all of the travel expenses, but I didn't want to do that. So I only think I owed about $4,400 on my cards, and I ended up putting about $8,300 on there. That is the October budget. Let's have a look at November. I think I will just have a quick chat about like the way that I usually approach November, Black Friday, and Christmas spending. So this is where I do a lot of my shopping for the entire year. I actually started my channel, my very first video on my channel last year was my November budget recap. And if you go back and watch it, cringe, but also I spent a boatload of money. I think I spent like $5,500 that month. And this is where I do a lot of my annual shopping. So I know you guys think I shop a lot. I will usually try to wait for Black Friday if I can, if it's like closer to the end of the year, because I know that the discounts are so good. So I do usually buy an insane amount of stuff, even just for myself in the month of November. I'm not going to go into this month budgeting that way. I don't want to have that mindset, because I think if I just like say like, oh, you're allowed to spend $1,000 on yourself, then I absolutely will, and I probably will spend more. So I'm not gonna like budget according to that, but like do not be surprised if I come back next month and there was a ton of money spent on myself. There's already a bunch of stuff like to buy on Black Black Friday. I've been waiting for my Sephora cart. I just have a bunch of stuff in my cart at Sephora that is like finished, but I didn't want to buy it full price. So I've been waiting for this time of the year. I also need new running shoes. I've never repurchased a new pair of running shoes. I've been running for like a year and almost a half on the one pair, and I'm definitely due for new running shoes. I also need to buy more activewear. I actually haven't bought basically any activewear, and I work out constantly. And so like I believe in buying stuff that you wear the most. Like I don't want to have 7 wedding guest dresses because I'm going to wear those things once. But do I want to spend and invest in good activewear? Absolutely, because 1, it makes me feel amazing. 2, I'm excited to go work out. And 3, it's the thing I do the most. I really work out almost every single day. I have absolutely no problem investing in good activewear, and I haven't bought any in a really long time. So I do want to do a big haul during Black Friday. I've been obsessed with Honor Active. I bought Honor Active last year, and I'm definitely going to buy more this year. They do charge customs in Canada though, so I have to be a little bit mindful of that, but I know that now, so I can go into it smart. But yeah, just there's things like that I, for the past few months, have been like, oh, I should buy it, and then I'm like, let's just wait for the deals. That's going to be coming up. I also buy all of my Christmas gifts in the month of November during Black Friday sales. I do this every single year, and then December, it can be a little bit of a cheaper month for me where I don't actually have to spend that much money in the month of December. And I also don't have to like stress about Christmas gifts and things like that. So that is why the budget overall for November is going to be quite high. I also want to go down to Bellingham. I live in Vancouver, so Bellingham is the closest like American city that has like Target and Trader Joe's and things like that. I've been wanting to go the entire fall. It just like couldn't get myself to do it before my travels because I didn't want to spend any extra money. That all being said, let's run through the budget values and we'll go through income as well. Bills and subscriptions, savings, and investments are just my regular numbers, so expect what kind of happened for the month of October for those. I'm not going to really run through those again just for the sake of time, but it is a 3 paycheck month, so automatically I will be investing at least $2,700, and then let's see if we can maybe jump that up to $3,000, because I think investing $3,000 in 1 month would be so dope. Let's pray for that. I'm not going to run through these values too much, but we'll go over income and expenses. As I mentioned, 3 paycheck month. I budget around $2,500 generally for my paycheck. It's obviously about $250 more than that, but like we like the surprise extra money, so that's great. Bonus, I have a bunch of extra money coming in, hopefully from like the refunds I'm getting. There was a ferry that was canceled in Italy, so I should get money back from that. We are getting at least £250 from British Airways for our flight cancellation, and we're also getting our money back for paying for the actual flight, so that's also coming in. I'm getting refunded from my friend for buying the wedding gift. She hasn't sent it to me yet, but she said she's going to send it to me right away. What else? I'm getting $170 for my family for my mobile plan. I'm going to deposit cash I got for my birthday that I haven't deposited yet, so that's also here. So yeah, a bunch of extra money will be coming in. That's just like bonus money outside of my pay. And then I just have budgeted about $500 from Etsy. Oh yeah, the $500 I should be getting from British Airways is in the returned items section. Sorry, I thought it was in bonus, but it's here. I already know I'm going to get at least $1,400 from YouTube AdSense, so amazing, crazy. But yeah, that will be coming in. And then Gumroad, I budgeted about $100 as well. That is a total of income of about $10,750. So it's going to be an expensive month, but there's going to be lots of money coming in, and we're also still investing and also still saving. So I try not to stress too much about these higher cost months because like I know I'm still contributing to my goals, my financial goals, and it's automatic and I don't have to think about it. So I just want to take the guilt out of the high spending months and accept that I make more money now. I'm still saving and investing a good amount for my income, a great amount for my income. So I don't need to feel the guilt anymore. Let's go through groceries. $500. I wanted to set a little bit higher because I know I'm going to be buying some stuff from Trader Joe's. The US dollar is quite expensive for us, so I don't buy stuff from Trader Joe's for like the cheapness of it. I buy it because I love Trader Joe's stuff. And same with America, just has a lot of better grocery stuff that we can't get here, so I want to buy some stuff while I'm there. $200 for transportation. I just gassed up, so I'm hoping I only have to gas up once. But then I also need to get some extra gas probably for that trip to the States. So I said about $200 total. Eating out, I have 2 plans to go for brunch. So that's the $75 there. Coffee, as I mentioned, I don't want to be too hard on myself for spending more on coffee. And also now me and David are going to be splitting the amount we spend on our Nespresso pod subscription. That was another bill he was paying on his card. I think that's usually about $45 each. So actually I probably should put this up a bit. And I'll put it up to $85 because of the Nespresso. Drinking and cannabis, I'm going to be doing sober November. I had the best time in Italy. I drank my little heart out. I had so much wine and Chianti Classico, and I had so many Aperol spritzes, and I had a time of my life, but I feel like shit right now. So I just want like a full cleanse month, like absolutely no money spent on drinking and cannabis, $0. Clothes, I'm giving myself an allowance of $500. This is actually because I got about $500 in birthday money. So this is like me spending my birthday money. Well, $500 deduct the jeans. I just bought like $140. So I think if I spend $500, that would be incredible because that's like the birthday money I got anyway. But I just didn't want to put a number here that's going to give myself too much leeway because mentally I can just see myself like being like, oh, I can spend $1,000. Let me just go crazy. Do not be shocked when it's going to be above this, most likely. I'm just warning you. Beauty, I don't have that many things that are low from Sephora that I need to rebuy, so hopefully we can keep it below 150. We shall see. Another situation, I don't want to give myself too much leeway. Fun, I said about 50. I usually like to do some Christmas activities, maybe like the Christmas market. Maybe that'll be December, but we'll see. We might do it in the month of November. My cats, we said about 100 each. Hopefully no surprise vet bills there. Health, I am going back to my naturopath. I am paying for some additional blood work that's not covered by the government. So I already know I have about a $200 bill for blood work alone. I am getting a massage and what else? I have some supplements I will likely need to be repurchasing. So $520 for health. I don't mind spending money on my health, and $130 of that $520 will be reimbursed from my coverage, my benefits. Gifts, as I mentioned, all of my Christmas gifts are purchased in the month of November. I currently have about, I think like $1,200 in my holiday sinking fund, and I want to save another $300. So I am expecting to spend about $1,500 on gifts in the month of November. Home, I love Christmas. I love Christmas decor. It's the only decor, like seasonal decor, that I let myself buy. So I'm giving myself about a $200 budget just to buy whatever cute little decor I find, especially if I go to Target. I love Target's Christmas stuff. Last year was not that great, but the year before that was incredible. I had the best time shopping at Target for Christmas stuff. So I love Christmas. It's like a joy in my life, and I'm not going to deprive myself that in the month of November. Donations, I haven't been donating. Obviously October was just so expensive, and I don't think I donated. No, I did donate in September, but yeah, I didn't in October. So I wanted to ramp it up a little bit for the month of November. We're going to do about $50 donations in November. And then business income, I'm expecting that same charge, $6.99 for Upbeat in the month of November. And that is that. Oh, you know what? My what's it called? My Canva membership is up in November. So I believe that's like $150 for the year. So I will have to pay that in November. So that is a good reminder. Okay, that is the budget portion of this video. Let's go over to my monthly reset page in Notion. As I mentioned, I sell this on Gumroad. If you're interested, there's a monthly reset page for you guys to use as well. And if you have the Notion template, follow along in your monthly reset page. But I like to just do a little reflection of the month just so that I can be a little bit more present and be grateful for the month that I just had. And then also set some intentions for the next month. And we cover books and some favorites as well. I don't have a lot of favorites, but yeah, we'll go over these pretty quick. So what were my monthly wins? Obviously, I started working and progressing on my 2025 budget tracker. I was hoping to get started on this a little bit earlier, and I sort of did, but I just didn't really dive into it fully, but I'm fully in. I'm very excited about this tracker, so I hope you guys are excited as well. And then obviously I'm very proud that I kept up with my YouTube uploads even while traveling. I got 2 videos up while I was in Europe. I wasn't sure if I would be able to with video uploading speeds, but I had a couple of spots that had decent internet, so I'm very proud of myself for that. What lessons did I learn this month? My body hates alcohol. 30-year-old Gabby does not tolerate alcohol the same way she used to. Especially traveling where you easily can have at least 1 drink a day. My body does not like that. My sleep is so messed up from it, especially now that I have the Ultrahuman Ring. This is the Ultrahuman Ring Air. I have a discount code. I will link it in the description box below. This has such cool data on my sleep and the way my heart rate variability, my general resting heart rate, my sleep, everything is so messed up when I drink. And it's when you see the data, it's just, you cannot deny it. And my mental health too. I never really deal with anxiety and just difficult mental health on the regular. I definitely have had really bad seasons, but usually tied to an event. Like I usually, when I've been depressed or when I've been really anxious, it was always linked to something. But the way that I just have general anxiety when I am drinking is, yeah, I can't. It's not good for me. So I had a great time, but I think it is time for me to start really reconsidering how much alcohol I'm inviting into my life, and also like the way that it affects me, because it's just not good. Also, sleep is so crucial. There was like 2 nights in Italy where I was so jet lagged and was just not able to sleep, like straight up 4 or 5 in the morning, still unable to sleep. And I have so much respect, and just like I feel so bad for people who deal with insomnia, because I've never really thought about how awful it would be. But the way that my brain was just spinning out of control when I couldn't sleep, it was just awful. And there's like this like guilt that it's like you can't even control. Yeah, sleep is crazy. And as somebody that sleeps, like I can fall asleep pretty well. Struggling with that was really, really hard. Also, my body loves movement. It loves working out. I just feel happier. I feel healthier. I feel like I have really good habits that lead to my general good mental health. And when I threw that all off with my travels, it really made me so much more aware of why I need to do exactly what I do. What I do is perfect for me. Like I figured out how to keep good mental health, and I just need to get back to that. And also my vegan diet. We had the best food ever. It was amazing. I would not take any of it back, but oh my God, the way we were breaking out, just like such bad digestion, feeling groggy. Yeah. Just a good reminder of all the habits that I have and why I do them. And sometimes you need that little like break from those habits just to like respect your routine and why you do it. So it was a nice little reminder. Something new I did, obviously, like every destination I went to in Italy I hadn't been to before, so that was amazing. I've been to Italy many times. Well, I've been to Italy twice before, but we did different locations, so it was cool to go back and go to new spots. Obviously, I'm traveling with David. Me and David have never done just a solo couples trip together, especially like a longer 2-week one. That was amazing. Honestly, it was like the best case scenario. David is so calm and like supportive in stressful situations, and I was like, you are the perfect person to be with, because I was like spiraling in situations, and he was so level-headed and able to be like, okay, like what can we do? How can we get out of this? And I was like, I need you on every trip I go on. So we love David. And then obviously long form vlogging. My last Italy vlog was about an hour, and I never really knew how to make really long vlogs or like entertaining vlogs. I've done them here and there, but not that many. So that was something new, and I thought I did a decently good job, and I hope you guys enjoyed the Italy vlogs. Favorite memories, of course, Italy as a whole, just one giant amazing memory. But also David surprised me on Friday with a surprise party, and I had zero clue. He flew in my brother, my sister, they all came in from Calgary, and oh my God, I was so shocked. I've never been surprised like that in my life, and I will genuinely remember that night forever. I didn't see any of it coming. I was so beside myself, surprised. So that was a great memory as well. And then what habits will I carry forward? I think, as I mentioned, just no alcohol, good sleep, movement, vegan diet, taking care of myself. Also getting back into like my hair loss routine. My hair has been falling out pretty considerably ever since somebody just knocked on my door, and I am not answering it. Okay. Yeah, I think I was just talking about my habits, as I mentioned. So those are definitely going to be carried forward in the coming months. Okay, let's do books. I read more than I normally do, just simply because traveling, flights, and all that. I did actually use a lot of my travel time to edit videos, but I did read more than I normally do, which I'm very excited. So I finished Two Twisted Crowns. Sorry. I did finish Two Twisted Crowns. I actually should put a column here for the author. I don't know why I didn't do that. But that is the second book in the duology. The first book is One Dark Window. Amazing. It was my favorite book. My second five-star read of the year. I loved it. So I also love the second book. Wasn't quite as good as the first book, but I would still call it a 5-star read for me. It was a little bit slow in the middle, but the end was amazing. And as a whole, I feel like that series is just so well done. I could feel the dark, moody energy through the book. It was just such a well-built world, and I dove right into it. I absolutely loved it. And then I started Zodiac Academy, which I am obsessed with. So I finished the first book. I gave it 4.5 stars, which is very high for like a general first fantasy book series for me. I think One Dark Window completely like surprised me in the fact that it was 5 stars. But I'm already loving Zodiac Academy so much, and I feel like some of the further books are definitely gonna be 5-star reads for me. I have been loving just like the moody, dark academia sort of vibe from that book, and it totally inspired my November spread. I did like a dark academia spread for the month of November for my Plan With Me. So check out that video. But I also started started the second book, so that's called Ruthless Fae, and I am in progress of reading that as well. I also started The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I haven't gotten that far into it. I would already say that it's reading like a very, very good fantasy book, and I would be completely devouring it had I not gotten into Zodiac Academy. So I'm kind of like only wanting to read Zodiac Academy right now, but I do want to make sure I finish that book because I can already tell it's a good book. So those are the books of the month. Favorites. I only have a few shout outs for favorites. I did a big favorites video in, was it September? Yeah, I think September. So if you want to see more of my favorites, you should check out the big dump of favorites I did there. But I recently tried out the e.l.f. brow lamination product. It's supposed to be like a dupe of the Refi. It even has like the same little tool on the end. So good. Like, never gonna buy the Refi again. I'm obsessed with the e.l.f. one. So check it out if you like the Refi brow gel. I'm obsessed. And also my Dyson. Shout out to my Dyson Airwrap. If you watch my vlogs, you would have seen me complaining about my hair in Europe. And because I always use my Dyson, I think I thought that like my hair care routine and like my hair journey I've been on, that like my hair texture had completely changed. No, it's just my Dyson making my hair so smooth and shiny and like just frizz free. In Europe, my hair was like Hermione Granger, just like poof. I would walk outside and it would just go, it would just be huge no matter what I did with it. So I have to give my Dyson Airwrap, my girl, a shout out. I love her. Bury me with my Dyson Airwrap. And then my Uniqlo sweater that I'm currently wearing right now. This got me through so many of my travels in Europe. I wore it so much in Europe. It's just so comfy and warm. And I got like a large so that it would fit kind of like a jacket. And it kind of gives me like a Chanel, you know, like a fancy lady kind of vibe. So I'm definitely going back to Uniqlo and getting more sweaters because the price is so right. Even like I was considering maybe getting a cashmere sweater. If you know me, you know that I cannot deal with having to hand wash or like take like baby any of my clothes. So I don't know if cashmere is the right material for me, but if I do buy a cashmere sweater, it will definitely be from Uniqlo. Okay, moving on. Let's go to goals. Okay, October goals. I didn't set a ton of goals for October. Obviously, I knew I was gonna be traveling, but I had a couple things I wanted to do anyway. So I wanted to upload a what I spent in Italy video, which I just uploaded. If you missed it, go check it out. I also wanted to do one other finance video, which I just didn't get around to. I don't know why I was thinking I could do another one. The timing was just not correct. I also wanted to work on my budget tracker. Started off, I set about a time block of about 30 minutes a day. I don't think I did 30 minutes every single day, but I was really good about time blocking it in and just quickly like doing 20 minutes here or 30 minutes here. So I think that's how I've made so much progress on it already. And I really want to take that into the month of November as well. I started a PAP process. I had to like receive the kit and then mail it back in. It was like a mail-in PAP situation. So I finished that up. I have no information on how it went, but I think no news is good news. I wanted to go to therapy this month. I don't know how I thought I was going to be able to like coordinate that when I got back from my travels if I didn't do it beforehand. So I wanted to get 2 massages. I actually was supposed to get 2 massages, but something happened with my massage therapist where she had to cancel the one I had tomorrow. So I won't actually get 2 in the month of October, but that's totally fine. I'll likely get 2 in November. So all good. Didn't take it off, but whatever. I wanted to fully fund my Christmas sinking fund. As you saw, I could have fully funded it. I just ended up putting the $380 left over from my YouTube pay into my emergency fund instead, and we'll just finish this off in November. It's totally good. I wanted to invest $2,000, tick, and I wanted to take Orlando in for his annual checkup. As I mentioned, he had like an emergency vet situation, but while we were there, we just did his checkup anyway, so it all worked out. November goals, I want to work on the budget tracker, as I mentioned. I want to really focus in on my sleep and then also getting my daily steps. That was the one thing I loved about Europe, was just how many steps I was getting every day. I felt really good getting that many steps. I don't think I need to do like 15, 20,000 steps a day, but I really want to aim for about 11,000 a day. So we're going to be working on that. And then I really want to get back on my supplements and my hair loss routine. So I definitely slipped up on my supplements while traveling. I brought them, but I was just not remembering to take them. And I obviously couldn't bring a lot of my routine with me to Europe for my hair loss. So I feel like some of my hair loss right now could just be because I've kind of fallen out of my routine with things. So I do want to get back on that. I wanted to make sure we get all of our refunds from everything. Like, I think we need to reach out to like point systems that we use, our credit cards for the insurance. We basically just need to track down any extra possible money we can get for that canceled flight situation. So that's a big goal. I want to get my blood work done and go back to my naturopath. I have appointments for both, so I basically know this is going to happen, but that is a goal for the month. I want to go down to Bellingham, as I mentioned, to Target and Trader Joe's. I want to make sure I buy all of my Christmas presents. I want to do a very low spend month for December, so it's very important that I get every single gift purchased in the month of November. I also want to do sober November, not drinking, as I mentioned. I also want to do a 1-year video on YouTube, like 1 year being on YouTube, because it will hit. My 1 year on YouTube is November 16th. So I just want to do some sort of celebratory video. I might do like a Q&A if you guys would like that. I don't know if that's something you guys would like, but I also might just do like how to start a YouTube channel, because I think I have some good tips after doing it for a whole year. And I want to do 2 brunch dates with my girls. I already have plans for this, but I want to make sure I see my friends. So we have 2 separate plans for that. And I also want to plan out all of my Black Friday purchases. So I want to know exactly what I'm buying, as I mentioned, like the things that I really, really need. I don't want to do any Black Friday shopping that's like, oh, this place just has a good discount, let me check it out. I want to be very intentional this year with what I need and what I actually like I'm hoping to buy, simply because it's on sale versus, oh, it's on sale, I need to buy, you know? Okay, I think that is everything for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. I can't believe we have 8,000 of you, almost 9,000 of you. The fact that I'm close to hitting 10,000 subs is mind-boggling, and I just want to say thank you guys so much from the deepest pits of my heart. This is such a cool and fulfilling way to make money. It's honestly something I would do for free. I find making videos like such a great use for like my creative mind. I've always been creative. I've always loved editing and filming videos. I used to do this as just like for fun with my friends. Like we would make little videos on iMovie, and so to do this as an adult and get paid for it is like the craziest, coolest thing ever, and it's giving my life so much purpose, and it's just fulfilled me in ways I didn't know could be fulfilled. So thank you guys so much for subscribing and liking. Oh my god, I got a little teary-eyed there. But yeah, I cannot explain how grateful I am for you guys, and we're almost at a year, and that's so cool. So thank you guys once again for watching, subscribing, liking. If you like the video, give it a like. It helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.